Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk. I am Damian Hill. With me, as always, is TJ O'Connor. And tonight we are joined by Sean Lucky Mcpadden, who is getting ready for a really big fight coming up September 22nd at Mystic Lake Casino. Man, dude, this is such a big fight.
Sean Mcpadden is fighting Mitchell McKee. I am so sorry. I totally blanked in the introduction of this video, and I'm sorry. Let the interview continue.
This is huge. Like, when you first announced it, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. How did this fight come together, and when did you find out about it, or was it something that was teased to you at all?
Basically, I told the LFA I need a fight, and they threw this guy at me, and I said yes right away. You know, D1 credentials is fantastic, but I work with D1 guys every single fucking day. So it was just kind of like, okay, well, if I can beat those guys, I can beat this guy. Let's do it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you mentioned his D1 credentials because he is a D1 wrestler or was a D1 wrestler, undisputed MMA, very good wrestling. You know, I'm like, it's just one of those things for me. Like when they offered you, or when they offered you this name, did any of that click in your mind? Did you ever even think about it at all?
No, my nuts could rest on his fucking forehead. I don't give a shit. He wants to hump my leg. That's all right. I'll strangle him with my my jewels down there. Sadly, I don't. You know, like I'm a fighter's fighter. Like whoever they bring to the cage, I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, and then I'm gonna sub you. So, game plan's all the same. They fly some chump in, I knock some chump out. He flies home, I celebrate. Easy money.
I love it, and obviously, Sean, the confidence is as high as ever, and that's leading into this big main event on September 22nd. But as Damian and I were in the game, we know this stuff. But to break it down for the fan that might be the layman or might read the internet page, just to go through. I mean, obviously, Mitch, state champion wrestler, 3-time All-American, seamless transition into MMA at this point. He's 4-0 on paper. For the layman fan, what makes you better, and what makes you this confident going into September 22nd?
Well, I've fought real fighters. Let's start with that. 4-0. He's had 4 fights, amateur and professional. He's had 4 fights. Now, as y'all know, because you've been doing this long enough, there's a little thing called experience that pays dividends. This man doesn't have experience. He's never been punched in the face for real. He's never been hit for real. Watch all his film. And why has he never been punched in the face for real? Trash. And then his best opponent was a 5-4 125er. That Bellator fed him. Come on, guys. Let's be real. Let's look at my past 3 opponents. 4-0. Former LFA title challenger. 4-0, the most hyped jiu-jitsu guy on the LFA circuit. 16-10, veteran knockout artist, a weight class up.
Yeah.
When I'm looking apples to oranges, one of us has been competing, the other one has been beating up cans. Okay? I can take anybody off the street and beat them up too. That's cool. It's a free check. But last time I checked, I ain't no free money. And September 22nd, he's going to have to earn that paycheck. Good luck.
Dude, I love it. I just want to play devil's advocate just a little bit, because when you are fighting guys, I'm in the fight game. I know the terms. I know everything. When people call them cans or when people believe that they're lower than what the competition is, and then you're getting a good record off of that. But one thing that I always have tried to bring into consideration, if a guy is a loser or they suck, and I'm faced against them or somebody is faced against them, do they make them look as bad as they're supposed to look? You know, what have you thought about his performances in those fights? Has he made them look as bad as they're supposed to look, or do you see him struggling with these guys a little
Well, he actually had to scrap a little bit and struggled to hold down the 125er. Okay. And then he almost got fucking triangled by some dude. Now, little do they know, I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and I'm pretty good off my back. If you look at my record, amateur and pro, I got a handful of subs. Handful of those have been off my back. If I strangled a wrestler with a triangle choke, it wouldn't be the first time. So don't act surprised, motherfuckers, when it happens.
Okay, well, do you when anytime people are looking into fights and stuff, you know, especially if you believe a person has fought fans, you know, you believe that they're trying to pick and choose their opponents and everything. You know, when he looks at your record and he sees all of the accomplishments that you have had, and he compares himself to you and still takes the fight, like, what do you think is going through his mind, or what type of preparation do you think that he's doing? Do you think that he's getting ready for a jiu-jitsu fighter, or is he getting ready for the striker that he thinks you probably are? Or, I mean, well, you are, but you know what I mean.
Man, you know, it's very interesting, and you know, I immediately said yes to the fight, and so did he, and I was kind of shocked actually, because you know, he's come up here and he's fought a couple of times, and it's just, I haven't seen the growth in his game necessary to take on an opponent like me. I think this is a foolish choice by his management. I think this is a foolish choice by his coaches. And I think I'm going to expose him for what he really is, a one-trick pony.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously the fights to come. And I mean, the thing is, especially, you know, Mitch obviously trains down in Florida now, but as everybody knows, he's from Minnesota. I think realistically, you guys probably live 20 miles away from each other at one point, and they're about the same age. Have you guys been in a room and touched each other before? Have you grappled? And obviously, he went D1 in wrestling. You went D1 in MMA. You've been putting in that experience on that end. Have you been in the room together?
I've never been in an MMA or a wrestling room with Mitch McKee. Never, not once. My teammates have. A handful of them have. A handful of them have spent a lot of time with him. I have former teammates that train with him down at Killcliff. At the end of the day, there's only two people who enter that cage that matter, baby. And it's me and two. So if you're watching this, boy, get ready. We got to fight.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. So like, when you are trying to like sell a fight and trying to get everybody to come down and everything, what is the selling point for this fight for you? Is this the, hey, I'm gonna come derail a hype train, or because this is your first main event for LFA? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I mean, and again, if we didn't make that clear enough before, I probably didn't.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the main event fight for LFA. Dude. This is a big deal. This is huge. Now, I mean, when you crap, I actually had a point. I'm like, when you're talking and thinking about the fight. Oh, crap. Oh, yeah, the selling point from this fight. That's where we're at. Selling point from this fight. Sorry, people. Now, is this you derailing a hype train, or is this you just jumping on the scene finally, letting everybody know who you are, and this is where he's the guy that you make your name off of and go up to that next level? What's the selling point?
What's the selling point? Well, I think the striker versus wrestler matchup that everybody has learned to absolutely love. I mean, and here's the thing. It's like, I'm just not a one-trick pony. So I think if I'm looking at a selling point for this fight, it's the top dog at 135 for Minnesota. Plain and simple. I mean, he's well respected in the community. He's a hell of a fighter. But at the end of the day, I mean, do you take the tool belt or do you take the hammer? Take the tool belt, man. If I'm trying to get the job done, I take the tool belt. So We'll see. And at the end of the day, man, that fucking environment's going to be so much fun. You know me and Mitch are going to fucking sell that building out. That motherfucker's going to be loud as hell. It's going to be the first LFA main event in a long time where that Mystic Lake showroom is going to fucking vibrate with how loud people are going to be.
Dude,
All of the MMA community is behind me. All of the wrestling community is behind him. Two biggest, baddest dogs got to come to the fucking cage, and we're going to rip each other apart, and it's going to be what it's going to be. But I'm relatively confident that I have all the tools necessary to beat him up and finish.
And you talk
question. I'm sorry. I know you do. I'm sorry, but I'm like, yeah, I think this is the first time that two Minnesotans will be headlining at Mystic Lake too. Wow, that went over my head.
Yeah. This fight's gonna be fun, dude. And I've always been one of those fighters. I feed off the crowd. The louder it is, just the better I perform. It's always been that way for me. So I'm just like, let's do it. I'm so excited to just get in there, show up, and show out. It's what I do best when show comes around.
It's going to be an electric environment. I'm going to be in the house. I know I can't personally wait to be there for this fight to go on. Looking at the growth of Mitch's fights through his first 4 fights, what growth have you seen, and what type of fight are you expecting come September 22nd?
I would actually say I can't say I've seen growth. I've seen lack of growth. I've seen a one-trick pony who knows what works for him. He's going to shoot double legs. He's going to take me down. He's going to hold me down. Or at least he's going to try. What do I have in my back pocket or my front pocket? Show up. Find out. Catch the highlight. But I'm going to make you wait.
This fight is way more than deserving of the main event. Like, after I found out that it was the main event, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, that makes so much sense. Because I'm thinking, like, who else would it be? You know? What do you think that this fight does for you if you secure a victory? Does it grant you a title fight? Does it grant you a move up to the next level? Or what are you thinking? What are the plans? And I don't want to get you thinking past this fight, because this fight is happening. But that's always in the back of people's minds. It's always when you're talking to your managers, talking to agents and everything, like they're trying to plan out futures and stuff. What's going on?
I think more than likely this one shoots me to the next level. There's not a whole lot I can prove on the regional scene outside of fighting a guy like this. I mean, I beat vets, I beat undefeated fighters, I beat strikers, I beat grapplers, the jiu-jitsu guys, I've beat wrestlers. I mean, even going into this fight, I don't feel like I have a lot to prove. You know, I'm very good. I'm number 1 in Minnesota for a reason. So, what does this do for me? I mean, I do think it shoots me to the next level. I think this is the fight that gets, you know, Dana, call me. You know, I'm just waiting for that phone call at this point, and I plan to stay ready, especially after this fight, because I do truly think it'll be coming pretty shortly after.
Yeah, and you talk about being in that close and on the cusp of it. And like Damian said, not telling anything you don't know, obviously. You've been for long. You know, you can't look past the fight. But with rumors circulating that, you know, the UFC could potentially be looking at Minnesota as a place they're coming to soon, and the timing of this fight being very perfect, is that added pressure? Is that just a cherry on top for something that you already have?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know if that information is released, so I couldn't tell you anything about it, sir. No, I mean, it's definitely a cherry on top, and it definitely creates that extra motivation, that extra drive. I mean, if you know how I train like a fucking dog, man. Like, I'm always in the room. I'm always working. I'm always developing. I'm always getting better, getting sharper, learning new things. And now I have that dream right there. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. All I got to do is smash one more fucking trash can. Let's do it. I'm ready. You know, fighting's in my blood, man. I mean, I'm a good old Irish Scot. You know, we've fucking bled on them battlefields oh so long ago. And I don't know what it is. I'm a fucking gladiator at heart, an absolute warrior, and I live for this shit. So I'm gonna test that dog in him. I'm gonna test that will in him, and we're gonna see if he's as big as his bark, to say the least.
For the people that don't know, I've had the privilege of actually being in the room with Sean and working with him and everything. There's a lot of things that you bring to the table. You know, I'm wondering, what do you think that you bring to the table that he's never seen before, whether it's in the practice room, in a fight, or anything? I mean, just like what makes Sean Mcpadden different from all of his other
training partners and everything? What makes me the most different, what makes me special, is that I am such a cerebral fighter. I'm analytical. I'm allowed, I can take my time because my defense is sharp. The holes in my game are so small, if any. Please, I welcome anyone in the comment section. Tell me what holes in my game that you've seen that you think Mitch McKee can exploit. Can he outstrike me? I don't know. Can he out tie clinch me? I don't know. Can he out kick me? No. Can he outbox me? No. The list goes on and on and on. And then we get to the big one. Can he out wrestle me? Absolutely. I'm not a fool. But can he out grapple me? Because this is a fight. I'm allowed to lock onto things. I'm allowed to strangle you. I'm allowed to rip your knee in half. And guess what? I got a sub in every category in the cage. I have that experience that says I can do it. I don't need to prove shit. You got everything to prove, not me. I'm the vet. You're the show pony. Time to get fucking crushed, boy.
I think you spoke about it earlier, like wisdom. Well, actually, I say this all the time. Wisdom doesn't come with age; it comes with experience. And you, sir, have a lot of experience, and according to you, against a lot tougher opponents. And as TJ put it earlier, he went D1 in wrestling. You went D1 in MMA. As soon as you turned 18, you got right into the gym and started fighting. And you've been around professionals your entire fight career. And now you two are both meeting up together. This is there's not really a question here. It's just amazing to me, dude. I cannot wait for this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a scrap. And the fact that, like Damian mentioned earlier, 2 Minnesotans in the main event at LFA, at Mystic Lake, the environment's going to be crazy. I mean, before we start wrapping it up or getting anything like that, I want you to tell everybody what they can expect come the 22nd of September, what type of fight they're going to get, and how ultimately you're going to get your hand raised.
Hey, man, at the end of the day, I'm a gladiator that fights with 2 swords and a fucking dagger in my mouth. Plain and simple. You will get blood. I promise. You're gonna get blood. You're gonna get entertainment. It's gonna be a high pace, high action fight, high octane. That's the only way I've ever fought my entire career. I don't have boring fights. I don't. My last fight, I think we threw 150 strikes in the first round. Okay? Don't blink. Hold your breath. Because when it happens like that. Okay? I'm like a fucking avalanche when I come down on people. And as soon as you show me one sign of weakness, as soon as you show me the first time you get hit for real with a 4-ounce glove, when you show me that weakness, when you show me that shock, when you start to hesitate, I'm going to take you. I'm going to take your life from you. I'm so beyond ready for this. So, what are people going to get? They're going to get a cold case of assault. That's plain and simple. And you better hope that ref jumps in to save your life because, dude, I'm coming and I'm taking everything from you because it's my time. Plain and simple.
I don't even have a question. I love it. That was cold.
Yeah, no, I mean, the fight has been sold. I feel like at this point, obviously there's still a little bit more work to do. We're a couple of weeks out still. But before we do wrap it up, obviously, I always want to give the platform any teammates, sponsors, anything anybody outside the gym that's been there for you leading up to this fight, the platform's yours, sir.
Yeah, no, I want to give a big shout out to both my teams at McCoon's Martial Arts, Athenium Martial Arts as well. And then, of course, the Academy. I'm in there grinding with all those guys. John Castaneda, Griffin Perriott, Quang Lee, Monty Friedrichs, Sean Stebbins, all those guys. Handful of those guys got fights coming up. So make sure to get out and support them as well. It's a really big night for the Academy when it comes to that show, especially you got Quang, who's 6-0, right on the cusp of a UFC shot as well. Myself, who's 6-1, right on the cusp of a UFC shot. And Griff is not far behind us because if we're being real honest, Griff's got that D1 background. He picks up his third victory. He gets he gets 2-3 more. He's going to be looking at getting a call because Griff has been doing a great job, putting in tons of hard work. Super happy about, super proud of him. Big shout out to my mom. You birthed me. I love you. All my fantastic sponsors, whether it's Apex Realty, Jordan Etherton, and him and my mortgage guy, Dustin, absolutely fantastic. If you're looking to buy a house, guys, plain and simple, it's totally achievable and at a much lower cost than you think it is. There's tons of programs out there. Use them. Hung Tai, my through and through sponsor, man, I've been with them for what feels like a damn near a decade now. Best Thai food, absolutely, in the West End. If you've ever been out to Rogers or Albertville, had Hong Tai, blow your fucking mind, dude. It's so delicious. Lastly, I got to give a huge shout out to my girlfriend for holding it down. We moved into our house in April, fixing it up bit by bit. She's holding it down. She's she's supporting me emotionally and physically and making sure I do all the right things and, keeping track of me, keeping track of my dogs, keeping track of my puppy. So she holds the fort down. And I can't, tell her how much I appreciate her for that.
It's amazing. And I say it probably so often people don't believe me. They think it's just routine, but I seriously love the fact every time I hear somebody saying that they have the support systems that they do, it's amazing. And then the sponsors as well, fight camps aren't cheap. They aren't easy. And oh man, the fact is you probably won't see a return in a fight camp until years later. And you guys, the sponsors, the support system, everybody is such appreciated. You guys have no idea. But this has been Trash Talk with Damian and TJ. Our guest Sean Mcpadden tonight, who gets ready to fight September 22nd at Mystic Lake Casino. Do not miss it. The main event, ladies and gentlemen. The main event.